whatever you want, first step to achieving that is believing that you can have it, believing that you can attain it. That's the first step. Today's video is going to be about solution of getting what you want. Now, it's not easy. It's not a quick fix. What it is giving you the solution of as far as how to go fish, right? And then you have to make sure you show up and you fish. And there's no guarantee that you'll get the fish in the first hour. No guarantee you'll get the fish in second hour. But what's important to you? That you get the fish or how long it takes? That's what it gets down to. See, if you already know, then you don't need to watch this video. If you already know, then you don't need to go do this, go do that. The fact of the matter is that you don't know what you don't know. And that's why there's excitement and there's joy in that. It's like if you already know how your whole life is gonna be, you might as well just stop living right now. What's the point of living then if you know how your whole life is gonna how your whole life is gonna go out? If you already know how your whole life is gonna go, what's the point of living? You have to create that excitement. You have to start believing in yourself. You have to start believing in the possibilities that, hey, in that field of unknownness is where I create. And whatever it is, I'm not opposed to any conditions, any limitations. I'm not opposed to any, it's gotta be like this, it's gotta be like that. As long as what I want it and how I want it to feel is I'm being felt like that, I'm gonna choose that option. For example, you achieve something, you hit a goal, and your goal was to achieve a certain quota for the month as far as income, and when you were describing that quota of the income, you also described, you have to, that's part of the plan, that's part of the solution. You have to describe how you would feel, because it's that feeling you're going for. When we want that new car, when we want that new house, right? Of course, it's the possession, but more than the possession is how you're going to feel possessing it, right? So how would you feel having that brand new car? How would you feel having that brand new house? And so that's what you're going after. You're going after that feeling rather than the preferences and the conditions and the limitations, right? Because then you don't know what you don't know. And if you knew everything, you might as well stop living. What's the point of living? And so what you want to do is you want to go after the feelings. So when the options do present themselves, right? You want to go after the feeling that you were looking for. Or, okay, how are you going to feel when you make that type of income? How are you going to feel when you get that brand new car? How are you going to feel when you get that brand new house? Now, it's not easy, but it's simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. And rather than complicating it and adding a lot to it, the recipe is simple. Just make sure you follow the recipe all the way through, and you will attain that what it is. And we have to be clear. We have to be transparent as far as master plan, grand plan, you do this, do that, and you get that. Instead of being like that, tell you exactly what it is. Authentic. You're me, I'm you. Okay? You see yourself right here. And what I'm doing is I'm transcending what I've self-realized, what I've self-actualized. I'm transcending that. I'm giving that away. Why? Because it helps us collectively as one conscious. There is an infinite intelligence that we can tap into, but we can only tap into that once we go beyond what we know. And how do we go beyond what we know? Is by pushing the limits. See, what we already know, we're familiar with. What we're familiar with, we're familiar with. And what that is what we did yesterday, right? A habitual being, right? All we do is the same things we did yesterday. That's all we keep doing, going and doing. That's because our brain, our mind, it has network of neurons, and it has a default way of thinking, default way of doing things, right? and it feels rewarded. There's a chemical release in those neural networks when you do the same thing, and when you don't do the same thing, you're gonna feel at like discomfort. You're gonna feel some type of pain. Because why you feel that pain is because there's a default neuron network, and if you choose to not do the same thing you did yesterday, which is doing something that's not familiar to you, what's going to happen is there's going to be a new connection of neuron networks being created, and the old one is still looking for you to do the same thing. So that's where the discomfort comes from. The discomfort comes from almost like an addict wanting to get his need met, whatever that is, vices, whatever that is, drugs, or anything, food, TV, whatever it is. That person that, like, make you feel some type of way, or that feeling, whatever it is. Because everybody needs something that they got yesterday, like you might be addicted to social media, you might be addicted to alcohol, you might be addicted to, see, a lot of people don't want to admit, that's the thing, you don't want to admit. If you cannot admit and acknowledge what it is that the issue is, the problem is, you always want to point and blame and finger. But like, know that that's what's keeping you in the same spot, same place, is pointing and blaming. Because when you're pointing and blaming, what you're doing is you're saying you're not in control of your own life, right? And that's what it gets down to, subconsciously what you believe. So let's restart the video right now. Let's rewind the video right now. I'll give you I can only get so much of the point across throughout these videos. There's only like a certain time, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes max. But I guess if we do like a podcast, even, it doesn't matter. There's so much information. I'll need days. I'll need days to break it down. Why? Because you are not teachable. You're not coachable, right? What is your willingness to learn right now? What is your willingness to change right now? If I tell you gotta pay me $3,000 to learn this information, you're gonna say, oh, that's too much money. You see what I'm saying? You're not willing to do what it takes to learn this information. So don't expect to get what you want, because you're not willing to do what it takes. Does that make sense? And it might not make sense because of the level of vibrations that you're in right now. And the levels of vibrations that you're in right now, most likely you've been vibrating at the same level, that your mind has been vibrating at the same level. And it gets deeper. It gets so much deeper than just like the surface level. There's so much to it. And every day, you can never say you got it. You can never say, oh, I know what he's talking about. Oh, I got it. Because at that point, you cannot learn anything more. You're saying you know it all. If you know it all, then you can't learn new information. You can't learn any new information. You can't learn anything new. And so let's rewind the video. Let's restart the video right here. So whatever it is that you want to achieve, whatever that you want in your life, right? You want that brand new car, you want the house, the brand new house, or you want to meet a quota of income every single month. And so what you have to do is, first, you have to imagine, okay, in your mind, what it is. Do you want that Ferrari 488, right? How would it feel for you to have the Ferrari 488? And for this example, I'm using 488. That's just what came up to my mind. But it could be anything you want. For you, 488 Spider might be like, yo, that's crazy. I can't even begin to think about it. Then you don't want to think about it, because you want your goal to be in a sweet spot where it excites you, but it doesn't scare you. It excites you, but it doesn't scare you. Kind of like the sweet spot. That's where you're trying to find the balance and the focus, that your attention is not going to places, but you also are having to consciously put your attention on it, okay? So, boom, first you imagine what it is that you want. You want the brand new house. Okay, how would you want your house to look like? So that's what it gets down to. It's like you have a brain, right? And that brain, it's like a radio channel. You just have to turn the knob to the same channel that you want to attract the things on. But you have to know what channel you want to attract it to. If you don't know what channel you want to attract it to, you're just gonna go through your whole life and not getting what you want And the only reason for that is because you didn't know what you wanted, right? Only thing you thought about is I just want a lot of money. 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 I just want to feel good. And then like when you don't get what you never wanted, then you can't be upset that you never got it. If you don't get what you never wanted in first place, then you can't be upset when you don't get it. You have to first want it, right? You have to first want what you want, because that's gonna create that fire in you. It's gonna create that desire in you, that burning desire, in order to achieve that thing, right? So like, look, now boom, you have to want something, whatever it is, a brand new house, a brand new car, and maybe a certain level of income and quota, and there's levels to that. Okay, it goes so much deeper, but there's only so much time, and I wanna give you correct information, but I can only give you so much information because of the time limit. Okay, so you're not after the possession itself, because I don't want you to go your life thinking, oh, once I get that car, I'm gonna feel good. Once I get that house, I'm gonna feel good. Once I meet that income level, I'm gonna feel good. That's the wrong way of going about it, okay? What you have to do, follow me here. What you have to do is first, okay, get in your mind, I want a brand new car. One thing at a time, okay? Or 2 things, 3 things. This depends on you. Like, it depends on your level of dedication and commitment, okay? And it depends on your level of willingness to learn, what your level of willingness to change. Are you willing to do anything? Are you that obsessed that you're willing to do anything? Are you willing to get criticized? Are you willing to look crazy? Are you willing to get hated on? Are you willing to have your friend circle group be broken away from you? Are you willing to, if I tell you gotta stop eating McDonald's, are you willing to let go of that? If I tell you gotta stop watching TV, are you willing to let go of that? If I tell you gotta stop scrolling so much on social media, are you willing to let go of that? That's what it is. That's what it gets down to, okay? If I tell you gotta pay like, $3,000, are you willing to pay $3,000? Are you that obsessed? Do you got what it takes? That's what it gets down to. That's what it gets down to, okay? And if you're thinking that currently where you are, those people that you associate with, circumstances, events, and if you think they're going to tell you how, or they're even going to have an idea of how, or if you're asking them, hey, should I do this, should I do that? If you're thinking you're gonna get the answer from them, just know you're gonna stay stuck in the same place. Why? Because they don't want what you want. They don't have that same vision as you. They don't see what you see. Does that make sense? And so that's what it takes, is you have to have that willingness to want to learn. Have to have the willingness to want to change. If you don't have that, then you're not gonna change. And like I said, I don't have a lot of time in this video, and I want to get my point across, but I don't want to get my point across in a way where like I'm giving you the recipe, but I'm giving you like a fucked up recipe, and then you take the fucked up recipe and you get a fucked up result. That's why there's not a lot of time. I can be like, oh, here's the key ingredient, but like, you need the basic ingredients too. Like, I can't just tell you here's the key ingredient and you run with it. You need the basic ingredients as well. You need the whole recipe. You need the whole ingredient, like if you want to learn how to make a chocolate cake, and I'm like, these are the ingredients. Okay, cool. But then I also got to tell you how you put the ingredients together, what's the temperature, how long you leave it in there. Like, it's a whole process. And so anyways, I'm gonna simplify this for you easily, and it's gonna get down to how obsessed are you to willing to learn. How what's your willingness to change? Are you willing to not drink? Are you willing to not smoke? Are you willing to not womanize? Are you willing to not vape? Are you willing to drop the weed? Are you willing to drop the vape? Are you willing to drop the pills, the lean? What are you willing to do? Are you willing to let go of your friends? Are you willing to let go of golf if you love golf so much? Are you willing to let go? That's what it takes. That's what it takes, because what you are is your attention. That's all you are. Where are you putting your attention? Where are you putting yourself? Where are you putting yourself? And then you keep going through these cycles, and you keep going through these loops over and over. It's like this. You know, like an addict. Like I used to be an addict. I used to be addicted to a lot of things, like, you know, weed, alcohol, vape, lean pills, womanizing. I used to be addicted. Why? Because I'll tell you, there was a cycle, there was a loop, and that loop went something like this. It was like, you know, I wanted that high. I wanted that high from the lean. I wanted that high from the women. I wanted that high from the weed. I wanted that high from the alcohol. I wanted that high from the pills. And okay, once I got that high, only place to go from that high is low. And so once I hit that low, all I wanted to do was get back high. So it was like a constant loop, high, low, high, low, high, low. So it was like I felt good, but I felt good like this. It was like a flash. It was like a flash of feeling good. And it was like a fake feeling. Why? Because it was from outside. So number one, I had to wait for the circumstances to be right, to drink, to smoke, to womanize, to take lean, to take pill. So I had no control over that. And then number two, I couldn't control how long it lasted. Like, you know, I had no control over that. Now, I'm not after happiness. You know, those things might give you fake happiness, create that fake reality, escape your reality and create that fakeness, comfortability, this and that. But now I'm not after happiness, because I know in life is not all like bliss. It's not all bliss. But guess what? I think life it feels way richer, right? Life feels way richer because the devil's in it. Because the devil's in it, life feels richer, right? But you have to make sure you keep your fucking foot on that devil's neck. You have to make sure that. It's because one cannot exist without the other, right? But it's like you have to choose to be which one you want to be, right? And like the people that are, you know, that are stuck in what they're stuck in, we realize why they're stuck in that. It's because there's a default neuron network, and to them that's normal. To them that's normal, and it's made like that. Why you think the entertainment system is the way it is? It's a systemized system. It's a system. It's meant to keep you on the low vibrational frequency. It's meant to keep you like that, because the people who know this information, they don't want competition. They don't want competition. They don't want a lot of people to wake up and compete. It's just, that's what it gets down to, you know? And then it gets down to your choice. What are you willing to learn? Are you willing to learn? What's your willingness to learn from a scale to 1 to 10? What's your willingness to change from a scale to 10, 1 to 10? If I tell you you gotta pay $3,000, are you gonna say, oh, it's too much money? It's too much money. Your willingness to change is 0. You're not willing to change. If you're not willing to change, you're never gonna get different results. Do you want different results? Like your results right now are where you are right now. You may be making $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month. I don't know how much you're making. Or if you're living in a, you know, house and you're driving a shit bucket of a car, you're gonna keep getting the same results. Why? It's because you keep thinking the same way. You keep doing the same things. You keep hanging out with the same people. You keep drinking, smoking. You're stuck in a loop, stuck in a cycle. Even though that shit stinks, it's shitty, it stinks, but you're still gonna keep doing it. Why? Because it's comfortable. It's comfortable. It's like laying in a pile of shit. It's stinky, it's dirty, it's you know, gross, but it doesn't hurt you. It's a pile of shit. It doesn't hurt you. It's you're actually comfortable in it. So you keep doing it. So, you know, that's what it gets down to. It gets down to really understanding your true power and exercising your true power. It's not like shit is going to be handed to you, but what's gonna happen is, okay, so what I'm after is I'm after greatness. And greatness glows. It doesn't flash. You know, when I was an addict, I was womanizing, you know. I had the high of when we were womanizing, you know, we felt like woo woo woo. But then we had that low. So then we had to get back up. And so the same thing with drugs, you know, alcohol, weed, vape, anything. And so there's this constant cycle of high, low, high, low. So it was a flash, feeling good, but then low. And then flash, feeling good, and then low. And then flash, feeling good, and then low. And then flash. You see what I'm talking about? But the greatness, it glows. It doesn't flash. It's not. It's glowing. It's beaming. It's permeating through and through. That's what greatness is, and that's what I'm about. I'm about the steady incline. I don't want to hit no home runs anymore. I want to hit the base hits. Just want to keep getting the base hits, and over time, these base hits they're gonna accumulate. Okay, they're gonna accumulate, and guess what? I'm not gonna feel that low. I'm on a steady incline. Yeah, life is not all bliss, and that's what makes it. That's why it makes it so great is overcoming these adversities, right? And when we don't have adversity, we self-inflict adversity every day. We wake up so early for that reason, because we want to self-inflict adversity first thing in the morning, so we feel like winning already. We overcame that adversity, number one. Number two, we sat down with the divine, we feasted, we came over that adversity. Number three, we worked out at the gym. You know, that's to correct your thoughts. You're like, hey, I don't want to go, I don't want to do this, I don't want to. Shh. We corrected that. We put in that work. We pushed the limits. We're not doing what we did yesterday. We pushed the limits. We did what we couldn't do. Okay? And that's what it takes. And don't look to your left. Don't look to your right, thinking your friend's gonna tell you something. Your uncle, your auntie, your mommy, your daddy, your sibling, your friends are gonna tell you anything. They're not. They don't see what you see. You have to get around winners. You have to get around savages. Associating with people that are winning. And look, I've done that easy money shit too. Like, you know, when you're just all about money and wanting to get the money the fastest way, the best way, and all you're attracting the wrong people. I had like every single person was around me was around me for the wrong reasons. Why? Because I was all about money. I wanted to get the fastest money, the quickest money, and I was getting it, you know. And same thing with that, like an addict, there was high highs and then low lows, high highs and then low lows, then high highs and then low lows. So, but everybody that I was attracting was not the right person, not the right wavelength, not the right frequency. I was attracting the wrong people. And that's what it is. You have to leave a fool being a fool. A fool wants to argue. A fool wants to say 1 + 2 is 4. And if you're a fool, you're gonna sit there and argue with the fool and try to make the fool like think that you're so smart, but you're not realizing you're being a fool for trying to make a fool think you're smart. Does that make sense? It's like, I love you guys. I appreciate you. If you need me, reach out to me on Instagram. There's not a lot of time. I want to keep this video short. We woke up so fucking early this morning. We sat down with the divines. We feasted, right? And then we made sure we conducted the work below. And after we self-realize, after we self-actualize, we self-transcend. We give it all away. Why? It's because for us, you're me, I'm you, okay? And we have a collective oneness of consciousness that we all tap into. You think like your consciousness is talking to you, right? Who is that talking? That's God. That's God talking to you. But like you're obsessed with the external. You're obsessed with just getting your instant gratification, right? It's all good. When it's unbearable, you're gonna want to change. But I advise you change earlier. You changed before. But it's all good. I love you. I appreciate you. Let's go.